Here's your front row. Starting third, number 95, Roger Hayden, Owensboro, Kentucky, the Yoshimura Suzuki Factory GSXR 1000. Roger having a good weekend here. We'll see if he can do anything with these riders in front of him. Starting in the second spot, number 2, Cam Beaubier, Roseville, California, on the Monster Energy Graves Yamaha R1. Can he do it again? Can he sweep? We'll find out. Number 4, Josh Hayes out of Gulfport, Mississippi, as we ride along with the Mr. Hayes on the Monster Energy Graves Yamaha R1, and that is your starting lineup for Superbike race number 2 of the Buckeye SuperBike Classic weekend. Let's listen. Well, Scott Russell, grid and go time. This is kind of just no holds barred racing right here. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we were just here a minute ago, and I like this onboard shot we got of Hayes. So we got something going on Fans Choice here that's nice. Have that GoPro mounted on the tail section, looking at Josh Hayes to see if he can find a way to outrun his teammate today. His camera, Bobby, I got the little bit of best of him in that first race, but Josh definitely going to have other ideas for this one.
He does, and Cam, of course, would love to do the double and sweep the weekend here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for the Buckeye SuperBike Weekend. On board Josh Hayes right now, getting a look as we get set to go. That R1 just sounds so distinctive. It's time to go. We are watching our start so closely for race number 2, and Beaubier got a really good start. He, in fact, is in an out-and-out drag race with his teammate who kept it on just a little longer.
He did. He said, I got to get to turn 1 first, and he's done that, Josh Hayes. Here we go, kind of a carbon top. Well, Cameron didn't get this kind of start last race, so he's a bit better already off.
Yeah, that's true. He is off to a very good start. The first race, he kind of balked a little bit at the line and had to bring the clutch back in and bring the RPMs back up, and that cost him a good bit. Now he is in the wheel tracks of his teammate. Josh Hayes leading him with Cam Beaubier in the 2 spot, one of the Yoshimura Suzukis in the 3 spot, and I believe it's Hayden.
I think it's Hayden, and then Martine right behind him, and Chris Fillmore. So that's the top 5 are all the same as in the previous race, finished, and the way it started as well. So Hayes down into turn 7 right now over the top of this hill, showing him the way. Yep,
and you're right. That's exactly how it finished. And, of course, they are going off of the best lap times. And Fillmore's on the throttle early here. It looked like he was pressuring the Yoshimura Suzuki factory rider, Martine Cardenas.
Well, Martine had a pretty good race in the first race, but he faded during that race. So his bike setup or the feel he's got in this racetrack this weekend, probably not what he wanted. Good chance they went back to the drawing board to try to make that Suzuki a little bit better. Maybe it's going to take him a lap or 2 to really get going.
Right now, I think Fillmore has designs on taking that spot, and he's looking for a way on every corner entrance. Fillmore pressing hard on the KTM here, looking for a way around Martine Cardenas.
This is what Hayes wanted to see, open racetrack out front. He's going to try to build a gap as quick as he can. Cam Beaubier is going to have different ideas about that, obviously. These are great shots again. You see him making his way up into that keyhole. really using his body to make this big Yamaha turn.
And that deep growl we can hear so plainly on board that Yamaha R1. That cross-plane crankshaft certainly has a unique sound and a unique feel. And it has a way of getting that power to the ground really well mid-corner when he picks that throttle up. There's your full field rundown beginning up at the top on our fanschoice.tv coverage. And I might tell you this would be the beginning of the second day, but we're doing both days in one here. Following this, it'll be Sport Bike followed by Super Sport.
Down through Thunder Valley for the second time. This is part of the racetrack. Really technical as you come around that Armco right there and you bend the bike back to the left. The track flattens out. It goes over the crest of a hill. The bike gets really light. This track has a lot of challenging areas for all these riders out here, and bike setup is critical at a track like this.
To me, it looked as if Cambobier's bike took a little longer to come to him. I don't know if it was as the fuel low lightened or as the temperature got up on those Dunlop. Scott, your thoughts?
Well, you know, I think it's what we're seeing now. I think it's Josh just really coming out of the gate hard. He knows his teammate's fast here. He knows that Cam was able to come through traffic, run him down in race one. So Josh is thinking, man, I'm going to throw everything I got at this kid early on. And Cameron, being the cool character that he is, I think he's just letting it come to him, Barry.
Trying to keep him in sight where he can really back in maybe as the race comes to him a little bit here later on. It was a good long race. It was scheduled original distance to be 21 laps. Oh, we've got a rider down.
Martin out there.
Went for a nice long slide, did Martin. He's obviously unhappy about that, and who wouldn't be?
Well, you know, he's pushing hard, trying to keep up with this lead group. You know, these guys are running really good lap times already. Early in the race, that Suzuki had a full load of fuel, whether that had anything to do with it. I think he just got in there with the front brake, tipped it in, and lost the front end. The bike didn't flip, well, it flipped after it got in the gravel, but he got off pretty easy, it looks like. He might be shaking up a little bit.
He's definitely favoring something. Looked like one of his shoulders, perhaps, maybe a little.
Looks like he has one of those airbag suits on, though, and that'll help protect him under crashes like that.
They deploy in milliseconds, and most of them can deploy a second time, which is kind of cool, I think. They could get up, get back on the motorcycle, and still have some safety protection going on. Meanwhile, up front, no real changes, but the cool thing, I think, is that Cambobier still got him in sight.
Oh, yeah. I think it's going to remain that way, and I would suspect that he'll make a run at him here in the near future. Obviously, these are early days as far as this race goes. It's a shortened race from 21 to 16 laps right now, and they're working on lap 4.
And Cam is beginning to close that gap just a little bit with each and every successive lap right now, and we'll chart that. It's .553 when they cross the stripe. I got a feeling it's going to be closer than that when they get back, Scott, to the line.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be closer, and you can see lap after lap, Cameron Bobby trying to regain some of that confidence that he was showing us earlier in the season after having some off starting at Elkhart Lake and some issues at Barber Motorsports Park as well. So he's fighting his way back to full confidence right now with that Yamaha in the front end of that motorcycle, and it's really showing.
Of course, Martin Cardenas, again, after a get-off, that's going to take him out of contention here. That will be an advantage for Chris Clark. That'll move him up into the 4th spot. Again, on board with Josh Hayes. Josh is on his way to perhaps winning his 4th American Superbike Championship. You got to like his chances with the margin that he has right now in the points, Scott, and he's just riding brilliantly.
Yeah, he just wants to finish the rest of these races. Obviously, he'd love to win them all, but he knows that if he doesn't, he's still that man to beat as far as the championship goes, and that's the big payday. That's the ultimate prize at the end of the year that they strive so hard for. They try to be consistent. Yamaha sinks a lot of money into this effort. They pay Josh a lot of money, and and that championship bonus will be a nice little hit too. So they're all working toward that common goal. Cameron Bobier in second spot had a real shot at the championship earlier in the season, but now that seems to have faded away a little bit. But hey, racing's racing. Anything can still happen, and there's still a lot of points available out there.
Cam has definitely cut a little over 2/10 off, and he's back to about 4 bike length right now behind his teammate Josh Hayes. Meanwhile, Roger Hayden, 1.6 gap back there in the third place for number 95, Roger Hayden. Roger beginning to draw them up just a little bit. I think he is gaining on those front two just a little bit.
Well, it kind of looks like the race one, you know, where it looked like he might have made a run at him at one point, and then you heard him say on the podium he made some mental mistakes midway through that first race, and that kind of set him back a little bit. So he's going to try to clean that up. And if everything goes well, and maybe those guys in the front of him make some mistakes this race, and allow him to get up there and race with them.
Roger has been top 5 in every race but one this season. That was Barber Motorsports Park in race number 2 rather, where he finished 13th. But he's been top 5 every round, and he's been on the box 4 or 5 times here this year. So Roger's having a very solid, consistent season. He just needs to get a little bit further up in the order.
Well, definitely we'll be happier what his situation is this weekend opposed to Barber, where he and his teammate rode off a couple of those Suzukis in a big way. So they both, and you see Martin on the ground again, but Roger, that's the last thing he wants. If it's third, you take third that day, and that's where he's running right now. But he looks strong in this one.
And the crash of Barber was amazing to watch as the bike hit the fence at about 20 feet in the air, and the guys worked all night long to get it put back together because of the one bike rule. That certainly did test the mettle on the Yoshimura Suzuki factory technicians to get that GSXR 1000 back together for him. And then, of course, it wasn't just right. You know, we saw the rear tire problem that he had later on in the race. I think you and I both attributed it to setups. When you work all night getting one back on the road, it's there's no time to really perfect the setups.
That's true. You know, you have 2 bikes. The Superbike class is still allowed to have 2 motorcycles. The other classes that run here are now down to a 1 bike rule. So, fortunately for the Yost team, they were able to rebound from that. But you always have that favorite bike of the 2, that one that you feel more comfortable on. And obviously, he crashed that one and had to get back on that B bike. But here he goes, and he's making his way. Oh, he's looking down. There might be some issues with this.
That didn't look good, did it, really? He was glancing down at the motorcycle like something may be up. With 10 to go, does Roger Hayden have problems developing? We will keep an eye on him and find out as the thing progresses here.
Chris Clark right there leading Larry Pegum and Taylor Knapp. They've kind of got their own little thing going right here. It looks like Aussie Dave maybe right back there in the background off the back of this group. Larry, you know, looking pretty good out here today on the EBR in 6th spot.
The BR guys thought that bike would be good here this weekend. They said they thought this might be a place where the bike would really perform well for them.
And it probably does, Barry, but the problem is it works good for those Yamahas and the Suzukis as well. So anywhere these guys think that the twins may come into play, the Yamaha Suzukis are always going to be good there as well. So it just makes life tough for them pretty much everywhere we go.
Taylor Knapp took a look down the inside of Larry Pegram on his TOBC racing machine. Wasn't able to get it done, but he certainly did take a good hard look down there, thought about it. That's Chris Clark right now in the 6th spot. Running 7th, Larry, or in the 5th place is Chris Clark. Larry Pegram 6th, and Taylor Knapp 7th.
Yeah, these guys look pretty evenly matched, I'll tell you. Chris Clark would definitely have the fastest bike out of this group right now, and he's leading the way. But he's allowed these guys to continue to stay in touch with him. Not being able to really utilize the power of that Yosh Suzuki. so far.
That race is getting definitely heating up, Scott. They are right together on the racetrack, and it may go all the way to the finish to figure it out, as this one may as well. Cambobier's trying to set him up.
Yeah, he's really just studying the lines right now, and either sitting in there real comfortable, looks like. I'm sure Josh is comfortable doing what he's doing as well, and he knows that there's no way I can break loose from this kid. He's super fast. He's on the same motorcycle I'm on right now, so all he can do is try to be super consistent and maybe start running a little bit of defensive lines. We're only halfway along the race right now, so as that race gets deeper, you may see Josh altering some of those lines as he enters some of the corners, maybe cutting off that inside. I like this camera shot here. These up high shots from far away really show the speed of the motorcycles, give us a different angle as they come out of 1, 2, and 3 here. And you can see Roger's really falling off the back now. He's obviously not happy with what he's got as far as setup goes, and just thought maybe he's made some more mistakes, but man, he has really dropped off the pace. Well, you did see him looking down at the motorcycle too. So there could be some kind of problem with that.
And again, that's the advantage of the high shot, where you can really see the distance back through the field amongst those running up front right now. And Josh Hayes continuing to lead his teammate Cambobier. Roger is certainly deep in that field. In fact, I'm interested now to see exactly how far back Roger is. He's out of camera view pretty much completely here.
Well, I mean, the way things are looking with Fillmore running 4th, I mean, hey, that KTM may end up on the box here after running 7th here last year. You know, there goes Roger now, and you still have, there comes Chris Fillmore here. So the gap's still quite large, but if Roger keeps falling off the pace at this rate, there's a chance that Chris Fillmore could find his way to the podium.
7.3 seconds is the gap back to Roger Hayden. And those two right there just remain nose to tail all race long. Here in the last few laps, of course, Cam has caught him, and he's right there. This is a pretty much identical setup, Scott, to what we had last race in race number 1.
It sure is, except Cam decided to get by earlier in the race and lead it, and then Josh left him to try to find a way around him at the last lap. He made an attempt in turn 7. Wasn't able to hold the line, ran it a little bit wide as we're coming up to that section right now. I'm sorry, it was turn 8. This is turn 7. Down in the holes where Josh made the move, wasn't able to stick it. And now Cam is just kind of sitting there stalking him at this point.
And Roger's gap is back to 8.9, so he is definitely slip sliding away here.
Looking at the lap times, I was looking to see if Fillmore was actually running quite a bit quicker than Roger, and it only looks to be about 2/10 on that lap. So that's not going to be enough to really close the gap in 6 laps. When we cross this right now, we're down to 5, Barry, to go.
It is 5 to go this time by here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Looking down a little deeper in the field, beyond 5th, it's Taylor Knapp 6th, Larry Pegram 7th, Aussie Dave 8th, Chris Ulrich running 9th, Corey West 10th, Babuska, Martinez, Johnny Rock Page, Matt Orange, and of course Martine, who is out with a crash early on in this one on lap 2.
Well, I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what Cam's thinking, and it looks like he's getting a little bit antsy right now. I wasn't sure if he might want to leave it to just the end, but when you do that, you always take the chance of making a mistake and not making that pass stick, and then there you've left it too little. Maybe he's thinking, I need to make my move with just a few laps to go here and then try to hold him off. He looks like he's getting a little more antsy every lap.
They're just running nearly identical lap times. Obviously, they're right together on the racetrack.
It looked like he was setting it up a little bit to make the move in roughly the same spot he made the move in last race, which is down the back straight, on the brakes, into turn 6. Like I said earlier, it's the safest place on the racetrack and the preferred passing zone on this racetrack. So I got to believe that the two's got that same idea in mind in race 2.
It becomes a patience game at this point, doesn't it? How long do you wait before you make that move? And I think he's definitely got a move in mind here.
Yeah, he's really right there with him right now. And you're going to see these bikes run so fast and they run so well together. But that second man in line got the advantage of using the draft. And now he looks like the long ways and cut underneath him here, possibly try to outbrake him. There it is.
Got in front of him, able to make it stick right now. So Josh Hayes becomes the man who's doing the chasing, and Cam Beaubier becomes the chase.
So Josh is thinking, man, I got to do this all over again now. Maybe I need to strike back quicker than I do on leaving it to the last lap. Looks like Johnny Rock Page again. They're going to come up on last race. He made a move. He got right out of their way. Let's see if he acknowledges that blue flag this time.
And they go around him on the high side. Hayes gets a little bit offline in the process.
He's got a strange line through there. He runs out wider when it looks like he's trying to bring it back and get a good run on the front straight, but he goes right to the apex in that last corner. But he makes it work, and he's parked right on the rear wheel of Cam again, and we need a little bit of ground he lost as they made their way around Johnny Rock. He's made it all right back up. So now he's going to have to try to see, can I make the same move at the end of this back straightaway? Man, Cameron gets a great drive off that keyhole, and that's the focal point on this racetrack. If you're a smart rider, you work on that lap after lap. And you work on getting that good drive because you know it means everything on the other end.
Not only did he get a good drive, it gave him an extra bike length advantage, and he's been able to maintain it.
Kid's solid at a young age and really matured. But when you're running in a team with a champion like Josh Hayes, an awesome rider, and just you're getting it all. You know, you got the best bike, you got the best crew. You've got the Superbike champion that you get to feed off all that. He could not be in a better spot.
It's obviously a heads-up rider-to-rider duel here as they are getting down to it. It'll be 2 to go this time. It's kind of an age and experience, youth and enthusiasm deal.
It's almost like the Matt Millad and Ben Spees kind of deal. Same bike, same team. The man who's running the show for a long time, then the younger rider comes in, kind of the same thing. I think the biggest difference is these two guys actually get along off the track.
I got to give a shout out to Larry Pegram. You know, went down to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, ran with World Superbike, and scored points. Very, very cool. Ooh.
Looks like he's had a mechanical here, though, unfortunately.
It certainly does. Larry Pegram, who had been running up in the 6th or 7th spot, and his day has ended prematurely. Hate to see that for him after having a real solid performance. That's a long walk right there, isn't it?
Yeah, this will be home track for Larry, too. They definitely wanted a result here, and been a weird weekend all around. Finished out the race 1, but race 2 wasn't in the books for him today.
Lots of folks here from Hebron, Ohio, his hometown. And Larry's got fans all over the U.S., but certainly in Ohio, he is loved.
Well, we're about to find out what Josh has got up his sleeve because he's only got 1 lap to get it done, Barry. I don't know, man. It's going to be a tall order, but he can get it done if anybody can.
Well, we'll find out. The white flag has been displayed to these leaders, so they know what they've got to do. But Cam just continues to just not put a wheel wrong. I mean, he's just riding a textbook race, isn't he?
He is, and Josh ran a little bit wide right there in 2 and 3. That's not going to help his case. Right here is critical to get on the gas, and both of them got a great drive out of there, but he's got that bit of a gap on him, and it's going to be really hard to outbrake somebody from that far back.
Well, that's what it's going to come down to from what we've seen today. He's going to have to be under braking, closing the gap, and then get a great drive out. Can he do it?
Watch him, because coming off this corner is where he tried his spot last time. Cam might close the door a little bit this time. Oh, he's going to do it again.
Oh,
he's got to hold that. Nice.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
I couldn't tell if they actually touched, but they were close enough.
Well, Josh knew that if I do it again, I got to slow this thing down enough to put him on the outside. That's exactly what he did.
A veteran move right there, an experienced move. Now can Cam answer the call? He's running out of track to get it done with, Scott.
He sure is, and Josh is going to keep it real tight right here and close off the inside. There's really nowhere for Cam to go.
Cam trying a totally different line on the racetrack. He'll come to the bottom. It's a drag race to the line. Holy cow.
Well, that tight line kind of maybe messed him up right there. It's hard to say who won that.
I'm not going to call it. Holy cow. So Roger Hayden is third, and from what I get here, an indication is Josh Hayes is going to finish in the second spot. That's what it looks like here. We'll check with timing and scoring to verify the results.
Now that's a tough one. You know, he tried to carry as much speed through that last section of corners, that 14, 15, and by giving up on 14 a little bit and diving at the apex early of 15, that pushed him out wide, and it hurt his exit, and Cameron did just what he needed to do. He squared him up and drove that thing right up beside him at the start-finish line. What a great race by both riders, but only one winner today.
And it is confirmed by 1/1000th of a second. That's certainly a close enough finish here. What a race. What a race. We'll take a quick look down the order. Cam Beaubier will win. That's impressive right there. What a move. We're going to talk to Scott Russell about the strategy involved in that in just a moment. Josh Hayes will finish second. Roger Hayden. Oh, hold the phone. Okay, so they have reviewed using the camera. It's a high-dollar rig. This is not your average camera. And the victory goes to Josh Hayes.
Wow. Well, that's amazing finish right there. That was super close. It was too close to call from our booth, so.
Yep, so the finish line camera doesn't lie, and that is a high-dollar rig, Scott. This is not your average camera. Wow. I forget the value of the thing, but it's like way up there in the stratosphere, and it will indicate that, in fact, that is your winner right there, number 4, Josh Hayes, in one that was certainly, you and I we may not be the smartest guys in the world, but we were smart enough to know not to even go there and try to call that one.
I know. I tell you, Josh is going to be happy they invested in that high-dollar camera right now because, man, that was so close, and he worked so hard to make that move stick. He would have been gutted if it didn't work out for him.
And you and I were right here at the finish line. I mean, we had a good, clear shot. That's absolutely a photo finish deal right there. So it's Josh Hayes, Cam Beaubier, and Roger Hayden. And another impressive ride in American Superbike for Chris Fillmore to come up in the 4th position here. Well, actually, that's actually reviewed now. No, it is Chris Fillmore who will finish officially in 4th this afternoon. Chris Clark will be 5th. So 2 of the Yoshimura Suzuki factory guys in the top 5. But it all came down to the Monster Energy Graves Yamaha guys to settle it at the end. And Danielle's wanting it pretty quick, I'm sure. But before we go there, Scott, can I get your thoughts on that strategy, the last turn of move that we saw happen?
I mean, Josh did everything he could. He tried to cover the line in 14, and it put him in a tight spot coming off of 15, and opened the door for Cam to have a shot at him. But for Josh to learn from that first race, make the same move that didn't stick in race 1, just goes to show how smart that guy is, and he knew, if I'm going to do it again, I'm going to make it stick this time. So he deserves the win right there. They both rode a great race, but congratulations to Josh Hayes.
Wow. Actually, you know that you're right. It's the Binsby's Matt Mladen deal, and Bovier's getting an education right now, and he's stepping up, and he's riding brilliantly, no doubt about it. In just a moment, we'll be going to Danielle as soon as she gives us the indication she's ready.
You know, when I heard Cam was going to join that team, Josh knew that this was coming. These days were coming, that the easy wins were probably going to go away, and it's made it fun for us this year. I'll tell you, we're going to watch this again as they come over the top of turn 7, down on the inside. Didn't look like there was room there, but Josh runs it in there and just brake checked it, just parked him. And basically, that was the winning move of the race right there. That was the move of the day.
That was an incredible thing. I'm so glad we had a replay. Now let's do it. Let's go down to Danielle Teal, who is with our race winner on a photo finish.
Thank you, Barry. I'm going to start with first place here today. Number 4, Josh, winning that by 1/1000th of a second. It actually came down to the line, a photo finish. Congratulations on increasing your gap lead in the championship.
Thanks. You know, I wasn't really sure until we got here to the podium and the guys told me that I got the win. So I think I got a little lucky there. It was pretty sloppy from about the time I passed Cameron all the way to the finish line, and then I lost the front like halfway around the carousel, and I thought, oh man, if I could still pull this off, that'll be a miracle. So it was close, but man, I'll take them any way I can. So it was a fun race. I had a great time. Big thanks to Yamaha, Monster Energy, Graves Motorsports, Dunlop, and everybody that comes together. Yamalube, great crew of people. I'm lucky I get to ride this thing.
There you have it. Number 4, Josh Hayes, first place here today. We're going to head on over to second place, Cam Bovier. Cam, you fought a hard battle the entire race. You were right there on Josh's tail until you made the move, and then he was chasing you, but at the line, he ended up getting you. Congratulations on second place.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, I got to give it up to my Monster Energy Graves Yamaha team. They've been working really hard for me this whole year and getting me comfortable on my bike, and I can't thank them enough. You know, yeah, it was a really fun race. You know, I slotted in. Josh had a really good pace going, so I just slotted in with him, and he started really strong, which I struggled a little bit at the beginning, but yeah, overall it was a really good race. I'm bummed I didn't get the win, but I mean, you know, it's a good race when you come in not knowing who won.
There you have it. There you go. Second place here today, Cam Bobier, and let's make our way to Roger Hayden, the number 95. We're looking for him amongst the fans. I see him over there. We're going to make our way. He fought a race on his own. It was his own battle. His teammate ended up crashing out. Roger, we just want to get a quick word with you. Third place again here today. It was your own battle once again. Congratulations on third place.
Yeah, thanks. You know, I held close there, a little closer than the first race in the beginning, but you know, I was just making some mistakes trying to keep up with those guys. So hats off to them. They did a great job this weekend, but glad to bring the Yoshimura Suzuki here on the podium. 2 podiums for the weekend. It's a pretty good job, but you know, we want to win races, so we're not completely satisfied. So you know, we got 6 weeks off. We'll go testing and try to finish the year out strong in New Jersey.
There you go, Roger Hayden, number 95, third place here today. And that's going to do it for our Victory Circle interviews. I'm going to throw it to Podium.
Thanks, Danielle. Thanks so much getting the thoughts of those riders just as they step off the bikes. And now we'll perhaps go back down and enjoy Victory Podium celebration. It'll be emceed again by John Phippen.
Same result, but a little different race, especially in the first part. Martin was right on you, and then he lost the press coming down at the end.
Martin, I just know I got a big gap all of a sudden, 1 lap. So, you know, I'm glad to get on the podium again, bring it home, but we're definitely not happy with that gap to the other boys. So we're going to do our homework and try to come back in New Jersey and finish the year out strong. But I got to thank my whole crew. They do an awesome job for me as always. Dunlop Tires was great. Alpine Star, Monster Energy, Arai Helmets, Parts Unlimited. And I want to thank all the fans who stuck out to the bad weather yesterday and supporting us here today.
You gave us a good show, Raj. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Third place finish to Raj Hayden. Kelsey Clark from Mid-Ohio once again makes our trophy presentations to the Yoshimura Suzuki factory rider. I have been doing this for 30 years here at Mid-Ohio. I cannot remember a closer finish. If you had to ask me, I would have thought Josh had it. Timing and scoring initially gave it to Cam by 1/1000th of a second until they reviewed it with the photo finish camera. I gotta tell you, it was a great one. Let's bring up the second place finisher, Cameron Bobier. All all weekend long, at least during the races, you really got the great drive off the carousel onto the front straightaway. You seem to really have the measure of your teammate, and you just about pulled it off on that last lap.
Yeah, you know, my R1 was just hooking up all day. I felt really good. Was getting good drives onto the back straight, and it's always good. You know it's a good race when you come in not knowing who won. But yeah, I just gotta give it up to my guys, Monster Energy Graves, Yamaha. They've been working so hard and getting me comfortable on this thing. And I love racing with Josh. I've been learning a ton this year, and hope to continue racing like this.
The nice thing about you guys is you race them clean, and we love to see it. Good job.
Thank you.
Cameron Beaubier, your second place finisher, ladies and gentlemen, in a thriller. Hey, man, there's a reason this guy has won 3 in a row, and he may be on his way to number 4, the Mississippi Madman, Joshua Kurt Hayes, your winner. Okay, you pulled your patented move at turn 6 once again. Last time he got back by you. This time he almost got back by you.
I just had to close my eyes and go, whoa, little baby, whoa. There's a little too much monster in that machine. I got to slow it down sometimes. So, man, that was, sometimes you win them pretty, sometimes you win them ugly. Today was ugly. I wanted to win it really bad. So it was a really fun race. Cameron's riding incredible, and it's fun to be able to race with him. And I'm glad I was able to pull one over on him.
Anybody you'd like to thank for your 6th win on the season?
Oh, man, yeah, all the crew standing over here in the Monster Energy Graves Yamaha, both my crew and Cameron's crew. It's one big unit, and it's a group of people that make this motorcycle so great. Big thanks to Yamaha. The R1, man, has been so good to me for so long. I hope I get to take a few home. I want to take some home, put them in the living room, and I love these things. Big thanks to Dunlop, and you know, all in all, pretty awesome weekend considering how yesterday went. And again, big thanks to all you people standing around the podium and out there on the track for coming out and supporting us and watching us do the best we can, put on a show.
And your crew chief shaved his beard.
It's about time. That thing was dirty. I kept waiting for crickets to crawl out of it or something. So it looks much better.
Let's get out of the way here as we make our final podium presentations. Kelsey Clark from Mid-Ohio once again making the trophy presentation to our winner. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot ask for a better motor race than we just saw. Give it up for Josh Hayes, Cam Beaubier, and Roger Hayden.
Yeah, that was cool. Josh Hayes bent down and shook Roger Hayden's hand and congratulated him for a solid 3rd place finish here this afternoon. You heard Raj. They're heading out to do some testing is their strategy, to get out and to do some testing on the Yoshimura Suzuki factory team. And certainly that is one of the things that they're going to want to do. Well, right now they are a little bit behind the. Right now they are a little bit behind the 8 ball. So let's look real quick at what we just saw. Let's look real quick at what we just saw at the finish line as it was a photo finish right down to the line. Look at that, Scott Russell. Josh Hayes by 1/1000th of a second.
Well, that high dollar camera right there really paid off today, and you know, those are just too close to call, and without that kind of technology, it could have gone the other way for Josh Hayes. So he'll be real happy about that, and what a great finish to a great race today.
Amazing turn of events. That camera showed us exactly how close that finish was, and I'll echo the thoughts of John Phippen. That was a motor race right there, right down to the end. Josh Hayes will earn his 6th win of the 2014 season right there. And Cam Beaubier's got nothing to be ashamed of here this weekend. He's had a great weekend.
No, he's got to be really proud of the way he's rebounded from the mid part of the season, that he's had some ups and downs, and he stayed on the motorcycle all weekend, and that'll be big for his mental psyche. And going into that last round, you know, it'll be a dogfight between these two again, I'm sure. And it's just unfortunate that the points aren't a little bit closer, but Josh Hayes will be happy that it isn't.
Well, there's lots of points battles to be fought and settled when we get to the Kawasaki Devil Showdown at New Jersey Motorsports Park. And even if this is not a battle for the championship when we get there, it is still going to be great racing. And now's the time. If you're watching us from anywhere on the East Coast or within riding or flying distance to New Jersey, now's the time. It's September 13th and 14th and we think you all will want to be there to see what goes down. Look at the fans here across the fence, all gathered around, enjoying the festivities down at Victory Podium, as our top three certainly celebrating here. Roger, he carried the flag for the Yoshimura Suzuki Factory Team High here this weekend, pair of third place finishes. Not a bad weekend for him.
No, not considering this is his home race, and being on the box twice. I mean, he knows what he's up against week in, week out with the battling with those Yamahas, and they're so developed and so good that, he can hold his head proud, and he'll look to be a little bit better at New Jersey Motorsports Park.